All right, so Amazon just dropped their Q3 2025 earnings, and wow, the numbers are big. But the real story here, it's not just about how much they sold. It's about this massive AI boom that is totally changing the game for them. So let's get right into it and break it all down.
So we're going to go way beyond just the headlines. We're going to unpack what these numbers actually mean for the company. Get into the core drivers behind Amazon's performance this quarter. Okay, first things first, let's talk about those big headline numbers. The ones that really get Wall Street buzzing the second they come out.
Okay, just take a second to let this number sink in. $180.2 billion. That's their net sales in a single quarter. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's bigger than the entire yearly economy of a lot of countries. The scale is it's absolutely staggering.
And here's the kicker. A giant number like that is one thing, right? But what about growth? Well, that $180.2 billion, that's a 13% jump from the same time last year. Now, for a company as massive as Amazon, hitting double-digit growth like that is a serious, powerful sign of momentum. They're not just big, they're getting bigger, faster.
So the sales number was impressive for sure, but this next one, this is the one that really made my jaw drop. We're talking about net income, right? The actual profit. $21.2 billion. But look at that growth, a 38% surge compared to last year. That kind of jump is what makes absolutely everyone, investors, analysts, you name it, sit up and go, whoa, what just happened?
I mean, a 38% jump in pure profit for a company this huge is, well, it's almost unheard of. So you have to ask the question, right? How on earth did they pull that off? Where did that massive surge in profit actually come from? Was it just from selling more stuff?
To figure that out, we've got to peel back a few layers of the onion. Because once you look behind that bottom line, the story of their profits gets way more interesting and, frankly, a lot more complex.
And boom, here's your answer. The single biggest reason for that huge profit jump was a $9.5 billion gain. But this wasn't from their core business. Nope, this was from their investment in the AI company Anthropic. So think of it like this. It's not cash they got from selling packages. It's a paper gain because their investment in that company became way more valuable. And that flows straight to the bottom line.
But it wasn't all just gains. That big number was balanced out by a couple of really significant one-time costs. They had to book a $2.5 billion charge for a settlement with the FTC, and on top of that, another $1.8 billion in severance costs from their recent layoffs. So yeah, some pretty big expenses hit the books this quarter too.
Okay, so this is the really crucial part. When you take out all those one-off things, the big gain and the big charges, what are you left with? You're left with their core operating income. The profit from their actual business. And that was basically flat compared to last year at $17.4 billion. So that soaring, headline-grabbing 38% profit growth, yeah, that was almost entirely thanks to the rising value of that single AI investment. Kind of changes the story, doesn't it?
All right, now let's dig into how the actual business segments are doing. We're going to look at Amazon's three big engines: North America, International, and the big one, AWS.
So let's look at where the sales are coming from. As you'd probably expect, the North American retail side is still the behemoth, making up almost 60% of all sales. But I want you to keep a close eye on that 18% slice for AWS. It might not be the biggest piece of the pie, but as you're about to see, that's where the real magic and the real money is happening. And this table right here tells you everything you need to know. Just look at that operating income column. The entire North America and international retail business, together, they brought in $6 billion in profit. Now look at AWS. With way less in sales, it brought in $11.4 billion in profit. That's almost double the rest of the company combined. This is the profit engine of Amazon, no question about it. And with 20% growth, it's hitting the accelerator. Hard.
So that incredible performance from AWS brings us right to the main event, the central theme of this whole earnings report, AWS and the AI story. We're seeing its growth engine fire back up, and it is all about AI.
You don't have to take my word for it. The CEO, Andy Jassy, said it himself. He said AWS is growing at a pace they haven't seen since 2022, re-accelerating to over 20%. Now, you have to remember, there was a lot of talk about AWS growth slowing down. So for it to kick back into high gear like this, it's a really big deal. And it's all being driven by AI.
And this isn't just happening by accident. Not at all. Amazon is going all in, firing on every single cylinder when it comes to AI. I mean, get this. Their custom AI chip business grew 150%, not in a year, in a single quarter. They launched this massive AI project for Anthropic's models. Their Bedrock service is becoming the go-to spot for developers to use all the top AI models. They're even using it themselves with 250 million customers trying out the Rufus AI shopping assistant. It's everywhere. From top to bottom, AI is literally becoming the heart of their entire business.
Okay, so with all this crazy AI momentum behind them, let's look at what's next. What is Amazon telling us to expect for the super important fourth quarter, the holiday season?
And yeah, their guidance for the holiday quarter is really strong. They are not holding back. They're telling investors they expect net sales could hit as high as $213 billion, and operating income could be up to $26 billion. Numbers like these, they scream confidence from the top. They're betting that this AI wave, plus a strong holiday season, is going to lead to a massive finish for the year. So, all of this, it brings us to one final, really big question. We've seen how their AI strategy is paying off, right? It's reigniting growth in AWS, their profit machine, and it's even juicing their net income through investments. So the big question you have to ask is this whole AI boom, the engine that's going to power Amazon to its next $1 trillion in value? Looking at these numbers, it's definitely starting to look that way. Thanks so much for tuning in.